Hello, welcome to VNA Podcast Daily. I'm following today's highlights.
ASEAN hosts first ever global dialogue to seek ways for challenges in the region. President Chun Sang joins Hanoi University of Technology students in celebrating Teachers' Day. The National Committee for Traffic Safety hosts a national remembrance event for traffic accident victims.
Prime Minister Nguyen Dung and other leaders of ASEAN countries and its partners and international organizations gathered at the first ever ASEAN Global Dialogue in Phnom Penh on November 20th. They share their visions on the world development, the involving regional and global economic architecture as well as global challenges.
The leaders asserted that ASEAN plays a more active role in strengthening connectivity and expanding trade and investment with its outside partners. However, they noted that the integration progress of the ASEAN community and the broader East Asian region have faced implicit difficulties and challenges derived from differences in development levels and social, economic, political and cultural structures and institutions. On the day, at the 7th East Asia Summit, the participating leaders reaffirmed ASEAN's leading role in the East Asia Summit and that the East Asia Summit is an indispensable part of the evolving regional architecture. They stated that international laws on the sea, including the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, serve as important standards for maintaining regional peace and stability. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Nguyen Dung emphasized that the East Asia Summit must continue to provide a forum for high-ranking leaders to converse and work together in issues of strategic importance to the region in the fields of politics, security and development cooperation. He suggested the East Asia Summit boost cooperation in dealing with challenges facing the region, such as natural disasters, maritime security and terrorism, as well as other non-traditional security issues.
ASEAN Plus One summits and ASEAN Plus 3 summit held in Phnom Penh on November 18th have defined orientations for future relations between the regional bloc and its partners, including China, the United States, Japan, the Republic of Korea and India. Prime Minister Nguyen Dung attended these events.
At the 10th ASEAN-India Summit, the leaders agreed to further an action plan on the implementation of the ASEAN-India Partnership for peace, progress and shared prosperity in the 2010 to 2015 period. They will strive to increase bilateral trade to $200 billion by 2022 and soon conclude negotiations on agreements on trade in services and investment. At the 15th Summit with China, ASEAN leaders agree that dialogue and cooperation between the group and China have recorded positive developments. The two sides spoke highly of their continued dialogue and close consultations for the full and effective implementation of the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the East Sea, signed between them in 2002, as well as the start of unofficial consultations on the building of a code of conduct in the East Sea. ASEAN and Chinese leaders vowed to continue working together to enhance maritime security and encourage the parties concerned to resolve territorial and jurisdictional disputes by peaceful means. ASEAN and the US, at their 4th summit, agreed to go on with the action plan to enhance ASEAN-US partnership for enduring peace and prosperity in 2011 to 2015. They also asked for the study of recommendations made in the report of the ASEAN-US Eminent Persons Group in order to lift their ties to the strategic partnership level. The US affirmed to support ASEAN's efforts in ensuring peace, stability and security in the region, including peace, security and maritime safety and security in the East Sea. The US and Mekong Lower Region countries affirmed to continue strengthening the Lower Mekong Initiative. Within the framework of ASEAN Plus 3 cooperation, leaders of ASEAN, China, the Republic of Korea and Japan pledged to continue implementing the joint statement on East Asia cooperation and ASEAN Plus 3 working plan to 2017. They will soon study how to carry out the recommendations of the East Asian Vision Group 2 towards building an East Asian community. The East Sea dispute was highlighted at official meetings as well as activities outside of the ongoing ASEAN summit and related summits. Many stressed the importance of international law in resolving territorial disputes in the sea. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihiko Noda affirmed that the East Sea issue is of common concern to the international community, and Tokyo is ready to assist ASEAN in solving the dispute peacefully. India declared support of a proposal to build a code of conduct in the East Sea between ASEAN and China.
President Chung Ten-sang on November 20th attended a ceremony to mark the 30th anniversary of Teachers' Day at the Hanoi University of Technology.
In the current globalization, modernization, and scientific and technological revolution, Hanoi University of Technology should take the initiative and lead other universities and scientific research centers nationwide in the trend, President Sang said. He expressed his belief that the university will become a prestigious university in the region and the world, making greater contributions to the national development. Established in October 15, 1956, the Hanoi University of Technology has been one of the leading technical universities in the country. It has trained more than 140,000 engineers and nearly 10,000 masters and doctors.
Over 457,000 Vietnamese children nationwide are exposed to HIV/AIDS, with 9,757 of them living with the deadly disease. The Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Welfare announced the figures at the conference in Hanoi on November 19.
In 2009, Vietnam adopted a national action plan for children affected by HIV/AIDS until 2010, with a version to 2020, to signal its drastic response to addressing the issue. The plan raises public awareness and boosts intersectoral cooperation in protecting and caring for HIV/AIDS affected children. It includes those who are infected and those at risk of contracting HIV, such as drug users, homeless and orphan children, and those born to HIV/AIDS infected parents. In the last 3 years, the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs, and relevant agencies have hosted over 11,000 seminars and offer HIV/AIDS education to over 60,000 lecturers and students nationwide.
Deputy Prime Minister Nguyen Xuân Phúc called for joint efforts to make roads better and safer for lesser traffic accidents. In Hanoi, the National Committee for Traffic Safety held a national remembrance event for traffic accident victims on November 19th. We have more.
Deputy Prime Minister Phúc said, "We need to voluntarily follow traffic regulations so there are less cases of children losing fathers and mothers and families losing loved ones." On average, 30 people die each day from traffic accidents in the country. And Vietnam has the 11th highest fatality rate globally from accidents of this kind. According to official statistics, traffic accidents killed 6,923 people and injured nearly 25,000 others in the first 9 months of this year. Besides remembering those who lost their lives in traffic accidents, many localities across the country also gave presents and financial support to their families. The Ho Chi Minh City Traffic Safety Committee visited 19 poor families having members killed in traffic accidents. My husband was killed in a traffic accident about 2 years ago. Since then, my family fell into a very difficult situation. Everybody should wear a helmet to protect themselves. In the first 9 months of this year, the city reported 551 traffic accidents, mainly on roads.
A workshop in Hanoi on November 16 touched upon the role of men in domestic violence prevention. It saw the participation of women, men, and members of farmers' unions from 6 northern provinces.
According to the National Study on Domestic Violence Against Women in Vietnam, 1 in 3 married women have suffered physical or sexual abuse from their husbands at some points in their lives. It affirmed that domestic violence to Vietnamese women is a serious matter. An official from the National Assembly's Committee for Social Affairs said domestic violence not only erodes social morality, but also has a negative impact on future generations and may result in family breakups. Men play an important role in promoting gender equality and ending domestic violence, a representative from the United Nations Population Fund in Vietnam said. If domestic violence prevention activities do not focus on improving men's awareness and change their behavior, the gap between men and women will widen and violence will increase, the participants said.
And this is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.